So, Blizzard is under attack again. No, not because they have business with China, not because of their stance regarding the protests in Hong Kong. No, not because of their shameless microtransactions or their greedy business practices. No, not because of the way they're treating their employers. Like, remember when they had to fire over 300 people when their company was doing great? Yeah, no, none of that. No, no, no. It's because of their depiction. Their depiction of a race war in a game called World of Warcraft. Like, you can see that these people have really nothing to do with what made the game popular, right? Like, this criticism doesn't feel like it comes from inside the community. And this is the reason why they hate the word fake gamer, right? Like, you have fake everything. You have fake money, you have fake tits. You know, everything can be fake, but not a fake gamer. So what is a fake gamer? A fake gamer is a social justice activist, right? That is his primary purpose. That is his goal in life, the reality. And he masquerades either as a journalist or as a gamer with the purpose to sow division, discontent in the community. He joins an internet forum or he joins a fandom, a hobby. And his purpose is not to talk about the hobby. His purpose is not to participate in the productive discussions of that hobby. No, his purpose is to use critical theory in the hobby in order to split the hobby into different factions, try to get the people on his side to gain power, like moderators or developers or, you know, people in high place in that company, and then exclude literally every single person that even mildly disagrees with the social justice activists. That is a fake gamer. It's a person, like a parasite, if you will, that eats out the host from inside and then wears the host as a carcass in order to try to gain respect from the people around him. It's like, look, I have this carcass. Clearly, I represent what this thing used to be, right? Okay, so what is the problem? Well, apparently out of the blue, for no reason whatsoever, on Twitter now, there is this like big push in order to try to get Blizzard in order to rethink World of Warcraft. Now, here's the thing. World of Warcraft is a really old game. There's a lot of problems with it. A lot of problems. None of it have to do with this. Absolutely none of it have to do with this. And, you know, I am ashamed to name Polygon as a source of reference, but even they made an article recently which says that they are tired of the fact that there aren't any more stories that just have good versus evil. You know, like a really black and white story. Like, these are the bad guys, these are the good guys. Let's have a battle. You don't see stories like that anymore, right? Everything has to be complex now. Everything has to be with shades of gray. And don't get me wrong, like that's an interesting way of telling a story. But like I think the stories with black and white have a place. Like League of Legends used to be Demacia good, Noxus bad. Oh no, it's not really like that. You see, Demacia, it's very orderly, it's hierarchical, they persecute mages, they're not really good. And, you know, Noxus, well, they're with anarchy, like they let anyone get somewhere on top if they deserve it and blah blah blah. And it's like, just like, why do you have to do this anywhere? And you have to think, it's like, is this what the developers want? Do they really want to make all of these gray stories? No, it's the activists. Like, they're constantly pushing for this. And they try to make it seem like this comes from within the community, like the people that play it really care about this. And, you know, unless the company changes, they're going to lose money because they're going to get bad PR from journalists that also think like this. Why is this video constantly jumping? Like, I told you to sit here. Sit. Obey. Okay. World of Warcraft. You know, it's an interesting thing, and I keep saying racism, whether you like it or not, in real life is bad, right? But in fantasy, imagination, right? Like these things, not real. How can you explain to a leftist that it's not real? Like I keep trying. I keep trying my best to do it. I just can't seem to get to them. You know, like make believe. Imagination, like come on, leftists, come on, like you can like realize it. It's like, if it's make believe, it's not real. And they constantly say this. Yes, but the media that you consume influences you. shouldn't you take a stand against violence first then? Because all of this media has violence in it. Isn't that a concern? Shouldn't you attack rap music then? Because a lot of these lyrics glorify violence and glorify gangster culture. No. So it seems that like at a certain level they understand that they are full of stucco. But for some reason, they still try to push this as if they're honest actors. And like, we don't know what you're doing. Like, here's what you're doing. Like, okay, leftist. Snap out of it. Listen to me. I'm telling you what you're doing. All right? And if you're not doing this, you're a useful idiot. But I'll tell you what you're doing. The person here tries to find a problem with World of Warcraft. Okay? They try to slander the company, to make the company look like they're racists. Okay? They have a problem. Now the company has a PR problem. Oh, look, we can't be viewed as that, right? Because the company is not racist. If they were racist, they wouldn't give a shit, right? I mean, let's be honest with it. Do you think China really cares about the fact that they're censoring? They don't pretend that they care for human rights. So because of that, it's like, yeah, we're censoring, of course. You know, like they don't try to deny it. But a company that isn't racist is just going to not want to be viewed that way. So what you're doing is you're trying to attack the company, right? You're trying to attack the PR of the company. So now the company has a problem. How does it fix the problem? By hiring left-leaning people in positions of power. This is what it's about. It's about gaining power. It has nothing to do with culture. You absolutely know that this is not harmful for anyone. So the only reason that you're doing this is to gain positions of power and authority and a lot of money. All right? Wake up. Like, it's literally what's been going on. Like, look at every single of these companies have a diversity department. Like, what do you need a diversity department for? We don't have them in Europe. You know, they don't have them in China. And it's like, what does that person do? Spend 2 or 3 hours a day writing some emails and making wages over $200,000 a year. That is wasteful capitalism right there. That is what it's all about. Those Benjamins, baby. But anyway, right, so what is their problem? Well, Warcraft used to be a game about good and evil. You know, like you have some orcs. They're very... It's not that they're a different race. It's not like they're people. They're a completely different species. Okay? It's like aliens coming in, invading a planet. They're not the same race like the people on Azeroth. We use the word race in fantasy, but it means something differently. Like, in Azeroth, in Lordaeron, you have, like, white people and black people. Those are the races. But you also have a different species entirely, and those are the orcs. It's the same, like, I don't know, like, human beings capturing chickens and eating them. Like, is that an act of evil? I mean, you know, like, would it be wrong if the chickens fought back if they had the ability to? Like that's the way you view it. The fact that you're a leftist, that you can't get outside of your little bubble, of your little box and expand your imagination, that's not my problem. But like when I play fantasy games, this is how I see it. And the orcs seem to have like their different religion and different culture, and you know, they seem to enjoy battle and fight and whatnot. So in the beginning, yes, they were evil, and this creates interesting drama. All right, drama is good for storytelling. Yes, drama. So now you have an orc like Thrall, which is raised by humans, and he becomes a good orc. Oh wow, what an interesting storytelling, isn't it? Oh my god, could you do it if the orcs were gray? No, if the orcs were gray in morality, then this idea wouldn't be interesting. It's like, okay, well, reason stands that there is an orc which is good. Like, oh, who cares? You know, but like, because all the orcs that came from the Dark Portal were evil, and now you have like this one that's actually good. It's an interesting character. And it's an interesting journey for Thrall to see if he can get the orcs to live side by side with the other species of Ashen Vale. Alright, because now you have the Night Elves. The Night Elves, they care about the woods. They don't like it when you go and chop their woods. That's cultural difference. But now these cultural differences has to be put aside so they can fight Archimond, right? Which is a demon, evil, right? Demons, bad. And they threaten the entire world. So now you need to have all of these species that have disagreements with each other come together in order to fight this evil. And the question is, like, how are they going to do it? They've been fighting for years. They were evil to each other. Can they put aside their differences, or are they going to fight? That creates actual compelling stories, you leftist tard. All right? It doesn't. And the moral of this story, by the way, like, the moral of this story isn't even racism, because, like, it shows that even a species of aliens coming to a planet that are really evil, if you manage to take one of them and you raise them with kindness and compassion and teach them the ways of, you know, the inhabitants of the planet, he can grow up as a person that is now compassionate towards the humans because he lived amongst them. He's more likely to understand their plight. How on earth is this racism? I genuinely, like, do not understand. It bewilders me. Yeah. No, I can't. I can't like these arguments, right? And they talk. I'll probably read about this article on my stream. But it's such horseshit. You know, it is such horseshit. And like, what they're talking about is the abolition of factions. Now, don't get me wrong. I genuinely do not care about World of Warcraft anymore. But like, one of the important things were the faction, because, like, you need to have war, right? Like, that is the name of the game. Like, I'm sorry, it's in the title, it's in the name, it's the Warcraft. I mean, come on, right? So in order, like, every single war that has been fought on this planet Earth, every single one, except, like, very short ones, the demonizing of the enemy through propaganda is very important. Why is it very important? Because how can you shoot someone? Like, how can you motivate a soldier to take another person's life if they feel empathy for that person? You know, like, and the problem is, it's like, okay, well, your soldiers feel empathy for the enemy, but what if the enemy doesn't feel empathy for your soldiers? Like, it's literally that. So like, the idea that you have two factions and they can't communicate or trade with each other is pivotal. I mean, they can trade with each other through other loops and they can communicate with each other, but it's like, you get what I mean. When the game was created, you couldn't. So it was pivotal in order to have the game. And it was quite masterful of the developers to not allow people to communicate between factions when you have a PvP realm. Because, you know, you meet this sexy night elf there and you don't know, like, if I approach her, will she attack me? Will she leave me alone? So, you know, it creates this interesting dynamic and that you can explore as a player. Morality. Oh my god. Yeah. So no, World of Warcraft doesn't have a problem. I don't think they should change, even though, like, the developers have constantly changed it. Like, I watched the last trailers, and it sickened me. It's like, this is not the game that I want to play. You know, like, if you want to play it, that's fine. But for me, it's not what I... And the reason it sickened me is because I know... I spoke with a couple of artists that worked at Blizzard. And I know their original invention and their original design for World of Warcraft. And now I see Sylvanas made to look almost like a man in several trailers, like strong jawline, broad shoulders, you know, incredibly imposing. And then when you look at the trailer with Thrall, he's staying slouched, his face is showing concern, and there's like this other troll there that was like a teenager almost on the battlefield, and, you know, like, he's also really concerned. It's like, come on, that's the Horde. You know, the Horde is supposed to represent strength. You wouldn't see Thrall in Warcraft 3 or in the previous expansions, even in the darkest times, like, look like a soy face latte connoisseur. You know, like, but that's just my personal take. If you like it, that's fine. I'm not like the type of person who says, oh, you shouldn't like it. You shouldn't like these attacks, though, because they're disingenuous and they're dishonest. That's my take on this. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the comment section.